Hi, Maria. Mr. Parrish here. I'm going to take a few minutes to walk through the identity paragraph submission. This Feedback Studio view is something you can access and turn it in. If you return to the original submission, next to the grade, there's a little blue pencil icon. If you click on that, it'll take you to this view, and you can click on these grade marks, they're called, for additional comments, or in this case, explanation. I'll take a minute just to walk through the main things that I saw. A couple of things. When you do the page number up at the top, you want to put the last name and add the last name in that first one, and then it'll populate that in with the rest. There's no extra space between the identifying information and the title, or the title and the body of the paragraph, so these spaces would come out. So that's formatting out of the way. A few things that I've indicated along the way, so let's just jump in and take a look at some of them. In this sentence, my mom was at the Women's Hospital in Winston-Salem. That's where I was born. This is the run-on sentence or fuse sentence. You'll be doing the inquisitive exercises on this. So basically, one sentence ends at Winston-Salem, and that's where I was born becomes the other. There are other ways that you could certainly do this. Women's Hospital in Winston-Salem, where I was born. If you take the "that is" out, that probably is the right solution in that particular case. If you start a sentence with a numeral, in the case of 4, then spell it out. And in fact, in MLA style, you spell out all the numbers, at least all the numbers 1 through 10. There's another rule about that, but that's a basic rule of thumb. Just spell out the words 1 through 10 and then use numerals for the rest. Although I basically didn't get to meet my mom, the although is a very common sentence opener, and when you open a sentence with although, there's a comma coming at the end of that introductory idea that would be after mom. This is my biggest motivation. That's the main sentence that you're focusing on. All right. Really a kind of just heartbreaking story about your mom passing away after you were born, and it seems that the way this is sort of set up, that more than anything seems to be the important event. Again, kind of identifying yourself as this premature baby. It seems to me that really what you're kind of getting at is this sense that there was, even from birth, this trauma that you had to overcome. Not just the trauma of being a premature baby. That's a really difficult experience. But then, as you grew older, this loss. So, it is an identity-shaping experience for sure. So just like that, although the comma goes here, ever since is sort of the same kind of thing. Ever since I've been a little kid, then there's another comma that goes there. I put this talking style grade mark above "and such." I just think it seems to me that you'd invite your cousins over and we would play doctor. That's where the period goes, and not quite what the "and such" would incorporate. And then another rule of thumb that I tell students is that if you use the word thing, just replace it with another word. Now that I've gotten older, the first thing I did to, maybe the first step I took to get a sense of the medical field, if you revise thing with another word, it's almost always going to be stronger and better. And it is a sort of proofreading area that, in the proofreading phase, going back and looking for specific words that you can change or strengthen. That's one. Another one of these introductory elements, now that I've gotten older, be an automatic comma there. The acronym ER we'd spell out, use capital letters for that. The others wouldn't be capitalized because they're not abbreviations in the same way. You want a comma, a space after these commas, now that I see that. Etc. is kind of like "and such." I think you've got enough here. I helped out in the ER, the birthing center, nursing facility, and the waiting area, period. Etc. It tends to undermine something. I can't explain it any other way. I tend to avoid it as a writer. Anything else? Again, there's a numeral you'd spell out. I think I did have one question. I'm pretty sure that when you say my mom rescues them, that now you're talking about a stepmother. That just might be the sort of thing you clarify for a reader, that because it's a little bit confusing when it occurs there. All right. But, I mean, let's look at the positives here. You got the first assignment out of the way. It's well developed. You certainly include a lot of detail. That's one thing that in these early assignments people tend to avoid. You've got over 552 words. I'm sure you won't write a paragraph that long here. But if you were to develop maybe this one paragraph into multiple paragraphs, it certainly would be something easy to do. All right, if you would do me a favor and send me an email that you've received the feedback, we're able to access it, view the video, and understand what I was getting at. And of course, if you have any questions about anything I said here, or marked on the paper, or questions about the next assignment, please don't hesitate to let me know.